Hello and welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Fighting Chat podcast. We're going to be discussing the return of the Ultimate Fighter, season 29. It's our review of episode number 10. Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, brilliant. This episode starts out straight away with a team challenge. Dana, he suggests a break from the gym to do something else. And I appreciate that. It's nice to have something different happening in this show. I can't remember when we last saw a team challenge. So welcome back, team challenges, hopefully. I'm hoping they stay from now on. Dana weren't about, so he sent Forrest Griffin in to run things. It's called the Toyo Tires and UFC Pit Stop Challenge. And there's a Qual Desert racing bloke, a champion. He's there to let everyone know what's going on, as well as gloat about his racing achievements. And I don't know. I mean, I couldn't understand it. He was just going on about, I've done this and I've done that and I've done this and I've done that and I've won this trophy and I've won that trophy and I've smashed these blokes in this race. But I just want you to change some tyres. So they're asked to pick 3 people from each team to participate in a tyre changing challenge. And the teams are as follows. From Team Ortega, it was Kemran Lachinov, Andre Petroski, and Michael Gilmore. That's because obviously they're trying to get some use out of him, because he's not really been that useful yet. Maybe he is in this challenge.
Probably not good having a someone who's been on the sauce all night, trying to focus on switching over little nuts and bolts and screws.
Well, we'll see. Did he win? From Volkanovski's team, they chose Brady Heastand because he's he's worked in a automobile place and he's real at tires or something. Brian Battles and Ryder Newman. Look, it was a bit of a weed challenge. All they had to do was replace 1 tire. Yeah, that's right. You heard it. There's 4 on the truck. They only had to take 1 off and put 1 back on. And that turns out to be pretty good news. Because watching people change tyres, well, it wasn't exactly riveting viewing, was it? I mean, it was a little bit... It just wasn't very exciting.
Well,
there was no dynamic there.
Let's call this out for what it was. It wasn't Dana sitting there going, I want to get the guys out there doing something a bit different. It wasn't DeFranco saying, you know what, boys, it's been a good season. Let's have a break from the norm. It was Toyo Tires going into DeFranco's office and saying, listen, bruv, we've backed this show to the tune of X amount of dollars and no one's buying any tyres. So do something about it. And DeFranco said, what if we got a couple of guys to change a couple of tyres, get you in the show a bit longer? And that's all it was about, a bit of exposure for Toyo Tires. It was basically advertising in the show.
Seemed that way to me,
but I don't mind because it's more interesting than watching somebody fry some eggs. So, or listening to, what's his name? Tercios. Talking.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Shit. So it was. I thought it was good in that regard, but it was shameless plugging of a sponsor of the show. I mean, that's all it was about.
Yeah, I don't know. I say what the prize is yet, but they said whoever wins is going to have a nice surprise back at the house. A nice surprise back at the house. What happened to a stack of 5 Gs or something? That's what we're waiting for. Everyone gets a G or whatever. That's what we're waiting for. But Volkanovski's team won quite easily because of Brady's past tyre experience and Kemran's tick. So it was obvious that was what was going to happen.
Yeah, and Gilmore was...
We didn't do anything.
Still reeling from the previous nights. Drinking. Probably.
That's it. Yeah, he couldn't focus on where the screw goes. It's like, I'm sure they always lined up, and it's true they couldn't line it up. They couldn't get the tire off.
That's the only place where they lost out, and they just couldn't get that tire on. They took the other tire off. It was pretty neck and neck. They couldn't line up the other tire for love nor money, and we had to listen to the chat about how he is some sort of tyre changing guru. It's like a big deal. I could have beaten Gilmore than Lachinov. I mean, they just couldn't get the bloody thing on the car.
No, it was bad. They got back to the house and there was a couple of people there to do some sushi. There's no way that the other team never got to eat any of this sushi. That ain't real. Surely not.
And been loads of that crap flying around the house for ages,
Yeah.
stacking up in the fridge. There's always going to be flavours that no one wants to eat. I don't know, like, I don't know, like whale bollock or something like that. And that people are going, well, not too keen on that one. We'll leave that one for.
There's fish's eye, because if you remember, Volkanovski let the fish's eye.
Yeah, Volkanovski had it. Yeah, I'm not eating an eyeball. That's the end of it. I mean, I'm not eating an eyeball. Have you ever eaten an eyeball?
Not that I'm aware of. Probably in a sausage at some point, without knowing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's also been processed and scorched the hell out of in the oven.
True.
That's a little bit different. Would you just eat an eyeball out of a fish that's been sitting on a plate, being ready to be prepared and stuck in a sushi roll?
Definitely not. When all the other so-called quality body parts or whatever were there, I don't know why he did it. It seemed to be a bit of a showing off move, a bit of fun. Maybe it's his version of a shoey. Who knows? But it seemed a little strange because as soon as he'd done it, he had a little brief description of what it felt like and then scarpered out the house. Maybe it's
probably spit it down the drain or something. It's I've got no problem with it. Make use of all the animal. If it's been killed, right, you might as well just eat the whole thing. And like you say, it's probably a little bit of a macho willy waving exercise from Volkanovski to eat it, but we like Volkanovski, so I think I think I'd like it. I'd like it if I was there and Volkanovski said, "I'm going to eat the eyeball." I'd go, "That's better than hanging loads of clocks on the wall." Let's put it like that.
It is better. That was a little bit rubbish, that challenge, but let's face it, it's nice to have something different going on. The sushi scene, I think they would have preferred a little bit of money. That's what they normally get for challenges, and they never got no money, but they all seemed really grateful for it and was all overexcited, and Ryder was going mad with it. So, yeah, it was all right. An all right scene. He came and went, and that was the end of it. But then Ortega walks in looking like John Travolta with a grease bar on it, a black vest, a big gold chain hanging out on the outside of it. And he said that he's there because they've lost some fights. And it's important to let the team know that they're still there for them during the goods and the bads. So,
beautiful.
Did seem nice of them, I have to say, but they're there for the goods and the bads.
That coach on the Ortega team had that little dig. Remember when they're 4-0 up? I can't remember what happened, but there was a little bit of a back and forth between the two teams, and each
where Chiesa
we must be doing. Yeah, that's right. We must be doing something right because we're 4-0. He's gone a bit quiet, hasn't he, in the last few weeks?
Blockhead, yeah, he's gone well quiet. Him, I'll tell you. Yeah. He sneaks off into the background and gone, yeah, I'll just stay out of this for a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder why. The Battles fight prep. He referred to it as a fight simulator. 3 5-minute rounds. But every 30 seconds, you switch from Joe holding the pads to sparring with Volkanovski, to wrestling with Frank, to negative position grappling with Craig, and then back round to Joe on pads again. Tercios was watching all this and he looked well jealous because it was obviously nothing to do with him. I want to know, what did you think of that fight simulator? Quite good? Good training?
Yeah, it's all right, but I imagine it's pretty standard.
All right, but...
Sorry, were you hoping that I was going to go, it was absolutely mind-blowing? Sorry.
Well, I just wondered what you thought.
Only Tercios thinks it was mind-blowing. I just looked at him and went, yeah, I mean, it ain't bad, is it? But you hear about all the kinds of fight simulation sort of, when people go, you get thrown into the grinder or whatever, where you're always sparring where you're sparring with a fresh opponent all the time, right? So, yeah, I mean, nothing earth-shattering, really, nothing that exciting, interesting, or impressive, but whatever, it was all right. Again, it was something to watch, a little bit of a glimpse behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing. We say that we want to see more training, and they didn't show much of it, but at least it was focused a little bit more on the training, better than just the usual slow motion hitting pads here and there. Got a little bit of insight into what sort of things do these people do. So I liked it. I wonder what you thought of it, as in, it sounds like quite a good idea. It gets to do a bit of everything, right? Grappling, wrestling, a little bit of touch sparring, then some pads to keep loose and all that. So, so cardio. So it was nice, finally, to have a bit of insight into the training, which is a stone's throw away from the next scene, which was Petroski's, because that was not very good at all. That was just about him moving around, and they were smashing him in, saying he's stiff, teaching him how to move his head and all that when kicked, and slip punches, and telling him that he's real at chess, so you don't need to worry about nothing. because there was that scene where Petroski says that he plays chess with Rettinghouse because he's the most experienced fighter in the house.
Mm.
I mean, is that a reason to play chess with him? That's what he said.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't follow that line of reasoning or logic. That makes no sense to me. Just because someone's had more fights than someone else doesn't mean they're good at chess or worthwhile playing a game of chess. I hated the chess set they were using. Pieces were too
with like
similar
little
in
glass
colour.
pieces, little clear
Yeah,
things.
basically the same. I'd get confused all the time. I'd go, I thought that was my queen. And I've just had had my queen taken because I thought it was my queen. It's basically the same colour as your queen. Crap.
Yeah,
you can give me a chess. Just do the run of the mill black and white. Stop trying to be different and doing one of them is in quartz and one of them's in granite. It's like they're the same bloody thing. I can't tell the difference. It's just stupid, isn't it? It's like I've seen some chess sets before where it might be, I don't know, Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, I don't know Lord of the Rings well enough to know who's on my side and who's on your side. I could think the elf's mine, but it ain't. It's not really an elf, it's an orc. And I get it taken.
God, yeah.
I'm all confused. Crap.
I mean, I already don't know how to play chess.
I do like chess.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Maybe you can teach me how to play it. I mean, I think it's quite good. Yeah.
I've got a really nice set. Half of the pieces are in quartz and half of the pieces are in.
Well, funnily enough, I've got a Lord of the Rings one, no joke. It will, yeah, and I don't even know how to play it. I wonder why he never chose to play with Kemran chess. Anyway,
Kemran would just push all these pieces forward, wouldn't he? With no defense, just push them all just in one motion straight towards the other side of the board.
He'd just say, "I've won, right?" Because
I just walk forward. Yeah,
my pieces are on your side. Well, he also says, Petroski, how smart Rettinghouse is. And we know that because of the certificate. So I think Petroski, he might be a bit jealous of it, but I'm telling you now, ain't no easy task getting one of them. It takes years, absolute years. It's playing a bit of chess with him, ain't going to do it. Contradicted to what I said before about they never wear normal clothes. In this chess scene, Rettinghouse had Nike shorts on and a normal t-shirt. And Petroski, he had Primark sag bottoms on. So they do wear normal clothes, but I've never noticed it before. Never noticed it, but they were wearing normal clothes. It weren't Ultimate Fighter stuff. I'm telling you. I can believe it.
Right. There you go.
And I've called it out and said they don't wear normal clothes. And they do.
Yeah, you basically look like a right mug now.
Right. Nasty that was. I wonder why Battles is carrying around an old picture of his wife in a graduation suit. What are you carrying that one around for?
Maybe she looks hotter when she graduated than she does now.
Yeah, maybe.
She's fallen. Her looks have, fallen by the wayside.
It's like, this is I want to preserve this shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show everybody this. So everyone goes, oh, you got a bit of a scorcher. But really, he's thinking, don't look like that no more.
It's always a bit weird, though, isn't it? So you got that little photograph out and he's showing it around. And you've got, I think it was Lampros, you got blokes saying, yeah, she's brilliant. And I always find that a bit weird that people do that. Yeah, thanks. Do you not think it's a bit strange?
I think it's a bit weird because I interpret it a little bit like someone, when they say, oh, yeah, she's nice or she's pretty or you've done well or anything like that, they're either just being civil or they're basically saying, I'd pump her. Either way, I don't like.
It ain't good.
I don't like the intention. Yeah, I don't like if you're just being civil, so you don't think she's very good, then that's obviously not a very nice thing to say. And if you're basically saying you do her, that's even worse. You can't say anything horrible. You can't say anything too complimentary. So it just becomes run of the mill of like, yeah, she's nice.
It's awkward.
What do you want someone to say?
Yeah, exactly. And it's awkward on the viewer because he's now got to say, he has to say something either horrible or complimentary. Yeah,
I think you're always better off sort of like saying, if someone shows a picture, a little bit of advice for our listeners. If someone shows a picture of their partner to you, just say something like, and how long you've been together? Something like that. Just take it straight off course of the visual aspect of it. So don't even approach that. Just say something like, you've been together long? Or, if you showed of graduation, I'd be like, she graduated. What was she studying? Just take it away from the visual thing because it's crap. Just the visual thing, ignore it.
Good advice. But
thanks, mate.
She's preggers. And while he's showing his picture around, Ryder thinks it's going to be a boy. Aaron Phillips, he's feeling girl vibes. Brady thinks it will be a boy. And Gilbert, thinks a girl. So they're 2-2 at this stage. They're 2-2. And while they were doing these chats, Phillips, he was laying down under a blanket. You know why? He was covering up that bod. It weren't out. Under a blanket. So, yeah, a little scene there about what do you think it's going to be?
Dull, wasn't it?
I mean, that's the chats they get up to in that house. I must have run out of things to chat about, and DeFranco's run out of things to pick out of what they chat about to air on the show. Now, that was a bad one, wasn't it, Hey?
Mm.
I do think, though, in all of these scenes, Ryder seems to take quite a lot of centre stage in it. I actually think he seems like a really nice fella. You know, he seems to take a real interest in everyone, chatting to them, telling them that they're brilliant, bro, and you're going to have a kid, bro, you're going to make a great dad, bro, and all that. Honestly, it makes me think he's brilliant because he's always shows a lot of interest and a lot of attention in whoever it is. You know, he's always the bloke. He's always forefront of the chats. It makes me think he's a good bloke, Ryder. I think I quite like him. And maybe he's just trying to make it as enjoyable as he can while he's there. So the semi-final weigh-ins between Battles and Petroski, nothing to say really. Just they both made weight. Battles with stretch marks, and Petroski with a Greek god bod. That's it.
He does look pretty amazing, doesn't he, Petroski?
He does, doesn't he? He just, yeah. There's what can you say? There's nothing. You can't criticize any of it. He's got massive legs, brilliant midsection, good everything. I mean, everything's good, isn't it?
Like we just spoke about getting shown a mate showing you the picture of their girlfriend or something. If I had a female friend and she showed me a picture of her fella and it was Petroski, I'd feel more comfortable going, Jesus Christ, he's amazing. He looks incredible. It's so a bit weird, but yeah, I mean, he does look wicked. You know, face is good, barnet's good, beard is good, bod's amazing. Like you say, like legs and everything. You know, just you don't skip leg day and all that.
Yeah,
he looks wicked. There's no denying it.
Yeah, if you showed him in a suit, they'd go, oh, you know, he looks quite good. If you showed him in a pair of pants, it'd be bloody hell. You know, it really shows him off. That's normally when people get worse, but he gets better, I think, if he takes his clothes off.
He gets better the more naked he gets.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's move off this subject.
Yeah, you felt exactly the same as me when you saw him at the weigh-ins. It's like, bloody hell, he looks better with nothing on. Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to have a really tight weight cut, you know, where they had to bring out the towel. So he really got down to his,
Yeah, exactly. A little bit more closer to the mark.
Yeah.
Time for the Ultimate Fighter flashback. Season 4, the comeback. I'm obviously not in tune here with the idea of this segment. I'm not in tune with what it's all about because this was another not flashback, or at least not what I would have chosen. Yep, fine. Matt Serra beating GSP. It's a big moment. But it happened outside of the TUF house. It wasn't in the Ultimate Fighter. So to me, it's another one that's not an Ultimate Fighter flashback. Crap. What do you reckon of it?
Yeah, it's the same as the Court McGee one. It's too much of a long story to be deemed a flashback. It's like, that's not a flashback. A flashback is, the reason they use the word flash is because it's supposed to be, you know, quick, it's there and gone in the blink of an eye, that kind of a thing. It's supposed to be a real chopped down story. That one, it's just too long, there's too much behind it. Even then, they were like, you know, Matt Serra came back on the comeback show, then he done this, then he done that, then he faced GSP at UFC, blah, blah, blah. Then he beat GSP. It's like, this is too long. This is supposed to be a flashback. I just want someone, I don't know, McSweeney putting that fella in headlock. You know what I mean? And choking him out for, you know, when they locked him in the bathroom or whatever. And he was
brilliant.
Claustrophobic. Yeah. I want that. Bang, do that. 2 seconds later, you're going to calm down now. And that's it. That's what I want. Not long stories of, I don't know, Court McGee getting over alcohol addiction. That's not a flashback. That's a long story. So it was another crap one.
It was crap.
Obviously, it's much better than McSweeney putting someone in a headlock.
Not.
Or Rampage. No, hang on. Or Rampage Jackson kicking the hell out of the door. It's better than those in it actually has some big ramifications, and it was obviously a big shock and all this kind of thing. And it's something, like I said before, you could make a film out of. But for a flashback, I just want to see someone boot a door off its hinges. I don't know, like I say, piss on someone when they're asleep.
The Julian Lane was a good one.
I'll tell you another good one. when they pissed all over Ryan Bader's sushi, put it back in the fridge.
I don't think it was we, mate. I think it was,
No, it was we. It was we. I've seen.
No,
it,
I think he done the white gear, no?
Didn't
he squirt over it?
It might have been a sex we. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think it was the ultimate, real bad one, real bad than that.
Yeah, I think Bader took it good though. I think Bader just sort of laughed it up. I think it was we in like some orange juice or a fruit bowl, and I think somebody's, like you say, jizzed on some sushi. I mean, that's the kind of thing I want to see. I want to see people jizzing on sushis and pissing in fruit bowls. I do not want to see people making successful careers and winning world titles. That's not what I tune into the Ultimate Fight for.
No,
I want to see spunky sushi.
That's right. And they've done a couple of good ones, right? The Julian Lane Bang Bro was a good one. The On the Concrete Bro was a good one, that fight. So they have done some good ones. But there's so much they could do with this flashback. And this was just crap, honestly, it was just crap. It's not even in the TUF house. It's got nothing to do with Ultimate Fighter, really. Just so happened to be on that season. So imagine if Petroski did the old on the sushi. You'd like that, wouldn't you, as a scene?
Yeah, I think everybody would be tucking in them, wouldn't they?
Speaking of Petroski, we're on to his home call. Obviously, these semi-final fighters, they get treated with a home call. Now, he said he had some anxiety about making this call home. I wondered why. Anxiety about making the call home? But then he made the call, and I saw his girlfriend and then his roommate together in the same house whilst he was away. I think this is all making sense now. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, there was some, as amazing as he looks, there was some real sirens going off in my head. I was thinking, like, this won't sit right with me. And it reminds me of, there's this film, The In-Betweeners, where the same thing happens. He video calls his fiance back at home, and one of his mates is in the background, and he's like, "Oh, what's he doing there?" And she's just like, "Oh, nothing. He just came around to borrow some books." But he wasn't. He was
like you do.
He was. He was doing other stuff with her. So I just looked at him and went, "Nah, I don't think I'd allow that. Don't think I'd allow it."
Didn't look good.
No, it was bad. At least he knew he was there or was meant to be there.
He had anxiety though.
Yeah.
And listen, and he looks like he looks, and he still had anxiety over it. He ain't there for how long was it? 5-6 weeks?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, let's be honest, right? That's a ridiculous amount of time when people go like, "Well, I had to, I've got needs," and all that pathetic crap.
Yes,
it's all nonsense. 5-6 weeks, who cares? Big deal. But I'm just saying, like, me personally, I would be like, "What the flip's he doing there? Why is he there?" I just don't understand. What's he doing there? What's he doing in my house? Now, obviously,
you know what he's doing there.
Well, yeah, we know. Well, Petroski's obviously agreed it, right? Because he wasn't surprised to see him there. But I think some very good people, very trustworthy, very reliable people. But I still just don't think that is the best setup to have. There you go. My opinion.
Well, like he said, he had some anxiety, and it all made sense. Simple as that.
I have a lot more anxiety when he goes home.
Yeah. Well, Bryan Battle's home call, I have to mention it because I've mentioned Petroski's, but he just got all emotional while chatting about his family and his pregnant wife, which is understandable. And that's that. The only other thing of note in that battle scene was that he had some absolutely massive power sweat patches under his arms. He did, yeah. Well, of course he did. Yeah. That's it. Now we're on to the fight. The reason we're here. Oh, no, we're not. We're here for sushi stories. Andre Petroski versus Bryan Battle, both 5-1 records. Before it starts, as they come out the walkout before the fight starts, Volkanovski, he done some Jason Guida slaps on Battles. Now, I guess in principle, this move makes sense, warms up your face or something. But I'm going to ask you, is that a real thing? Something that you saw a lot or see a lot in boxing and whatnot? Is that a thing, warming up your face?
No.
Yeah.
I do think some people use it as a sort of a psychological G up before the fight. Brad Pickett used to have it as well, right? He used to get slapped in the face, I think.
Brad Pitt?
No, Brad Pickett.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Piquet,
One punch, yeah. And I think he gives Nathaniel Wood a little bit of a knockabout before he gets in the cage as well.
You're right, he does, yeah.
Yeah, so for some people, I think maybe it's a mental,
Preparation for what's about to happen.
a superstition.
Might be,
Sort of
yeah.
getting G'd up. I'm about to have a smash. Let's get in the mood. Let's get in the killer mode and all that kind of stuff. I think doing it is it's everybody's different, aren't they? Some people need to be in a more calm atmosphere and relaxed. You hear some fighters going to sleep before fights and stuff like that, and some people need the entourage to be pumping them up. Shouting their name, geeing them up, and all that. It's just different strokes for different folks, and I guess he's just the kind of folk that needs a bit of a slap.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't like it personally if someone gave me a slap. I'd just be calm down. I'm about to get enough of them myself. I don't need you sticking a couple in before I get in there either.
Yeah, like I said, I think it makes a little bit of sense. But Battles went in there and he had red cheeks when he was standing there before it even started. But yeah, I just wondered if it was something that was pretty commonplace. I mean, you've mentioned a couple, but of all the thousands of fights and fighters we see, it don't happen that often, does it? The face warm up.
No, maybe it'll catch on. Maybe it'll be like calf kicks. It'll be the new calf kicks.
Might do.
We know that getting a slap on the way to the ring in future.
Yeah, we know that the monster, what his name is, the monster Hawkins, Ian Hawkins. Is that his name? We know he likes to have his face warmed up during the fight, doesn't he?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's been quite a few of those kind of fighters in the UFC as well.
Well, Piquet is another one, right? I'm awake now. I've been it and all that. Now you're here with us now. You're in the fight.
Bisping was another one. Ruan Potts. That was his whole philosophy: get punched in the face, get knocked out, and then get going on the way back to the dressing room.
I'm ready now.
There's
real good for round two. No, round one's done. You're out.
Yeah, doctor hasn't cleared you for round two. So yeah, not for me, but I imagine that Battles probably said to Volkanovski beforehand, I like to have a little bit of a slap, to G me up for the fight. Because I don't think it's the kind of thing that you just do to someone without some kind of
agreement.
Yeah. So
all right, yeah, you got to let people know what you like, and then he's got to have Battles has got to have a safe word. In other words, that was too hard, them slaps.
Without
making him look weedy.
Yeah.
The Jason Guida, Clay Guida ones, over the years, they've become a lot weeder and a lot less prominent, and they last a lot shorter amount of time. I don't know if you've noticed. They don't really ain't as powerful.
He pulls them. He tries to make them look powerful, but you can tell they're not that powerful. Still wouldn't want to be on the end of them. Still think they're a crap idea. But
well, there you go. That's why I thought I'd ask. So on to the fight then. Round one. We know it's a 3-round fight. Whether it gets there or not, I don't know yet. They felt each other out for a bit until Petroski rushed in and he pushed Battles up against the fence, but he didn't keep him there for very long. Then there was a bit of an argument as Petroski said that Battles need him in the sack. Well, that's what I thought would happen. But as he was complaining about being it, he said something like, you kidding me? Battles put his hand on the back of his neck and kneed him in the face, which caused the cut on Petroski. Now, I'm sure I heard Petroski say it was a headbutt, but I saw a decent knee in the head by Battles, which I think caused it. But at this moment, I didn't know for sure. There was just commotion going on. It was a bit weird, as the referee Mark Smith said to continue fighting. But with all the commotion, he eventually got in between and stopped the fight, which could have been because of the cut. But I think it was just because he didn't know what was going on. He needed to clear up what was happening. And then he thought, well, while I'm here, I'm going to check the cut out. So the fight stopped for a bit. Ortega, he was at the side looking all stressed. He said, ain't no big deal, homie. We've got this. Clean it up and let's get back to work. I think he was worried that it could have been stopped, but Petroski said, blood's not in my eye. I can see. So the fight was about to resume, but then they kept saying stuff to each other. So Mark Smith called on the replay to see what went on, and it showed what I thought went on, which was a knee to the head. Yeah, I didn't need no replay. Get it? I didn't need no replay.
Yep, I've just got it now. Yeah, knee.
Didn't need it, right?
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, I didn't need it. And after all the kerfuffle, the fight then finally resumes. It's a little bit of a weird scene, but it made for excitement, a bit of beef between the two fighters during the fight, shouting at each other, this, that, and the other. Battles then went after the replay. You know, he said, "Yeah, I told you, need you in the head, bruv."
I didn't need to see a cut in the action either.
But added an extra one. Yes. Yep. So Petroski gets Battles down, gets on his back, and starts working for a choke. And Battles manages to defend it. But it was for over 2 minutes. So he had control of him for over 2 minutes, but Battles defended for 2 minutes. I thought it was a pretty hard round to score because you had the Battles knee in the head that caused the cut. But then Petroski, he had control of Battles for over 2 minutes. My guess is the judges probably gave it to Petroski. And at this point, Petroski looked really, really tired. He looked fatigued to hell. But it go on to round 2. Do you remember who you scored the round for after all that?
I used my usual scoring technique of who would I rather have been in that round. And I would rather have been Battle, as in he was landing some good, if I remember rightly, he was landing some good knees in the clinch, which I think seems to be a bit of a recurring theme with him. I think he seems to be quite good at landing those knees up the middle and digging them into people's bread baskets.
He's nice and tall. He doesn't have to go that far with them, for him to go up and at least reach your gut and whatever. So, but that one where he went on the back of the neck is classic technique. I say they didn't mention this, but I'm certain that he was complaining about a knee to the groin, Petroski.
That's so when there was that break in the action, I immediately went, Petroski's playing for time here. He's a little bit hurt, probably from some of those earlier knees or something like that. And he thinks something's happened. You know, sometimes fighters complain about getting a finger in the eye, an eye poke, and it's actually the knuckle that's actually landed in the eye. Yeah. Nothing illegal. And I felt it was possibly something like that he mistook strike landing because he didn't perhaps see it coming and he took it as an illegal strike. But at the time, I was completely confused why they stopped it and paused it, because I was like, there was definitely nothing illegal happened there. You know, I was watching close and I went, as far as I'm concerned, the same as you, he landed a knee. And that was it. At the time, I thought maybe, his foot, when the knee came up and landed on his face, maybe the foot scraped up against the cup or hit the cup and he was complaining about a low blow. But then he started mentioning headbutts and stuff. And I was like, there weren't no headbutt. So
but for me, it was the first knee, there was a knee that did look like it may have hit the cup or whatever. At that point, that's what I'm saying. At that point, he said, "Are you kidding me?" This is before any cuts on the head. Then, as he was going, "You kidding me?" Battles just cut the back of his neck, slammed that knee in his face, which did cause that cut. So I do think, no one mentioned it, but, we'd have to ask Petroski. Maybe he can comment in the comments section for us. I think he was complaining about a groin shot, whether it was or weren't a groin shot. I think he was complaining about that. Then ended up getting cracked in the head. Then all the attention went to the cut and a headbutt and stuff like that. That's what I think happened. And Smith never knew what the hell was going on. Hence why he stopped it and then went, well, I'll check the cut. And then it showed that it weren't no headbutt, it was a knee. But, we didn't need to see that it was a cut. We didn't need the fight to be cut to see that it didn't.
Yeah.
So that was round 1, and you said you'd rather be Battles, and so you.
Let's cut to the chase here. Last week, I said cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are we off that now?
Hang on. No, we need to cut to the chase.
That's fine.
No, we need to cut to the chase.
Okay. Well, last week I said, or last episode I said that to me, this was going to be a case of Battles being enough of a wriggler and a, sort of someone who will be able to drain the gas tank of Petroski and probably stop him late with strikes through a mixture of strikes and fatigue or get a decision. And after that first round, there were times where I thought, Petroski's in some good positions here. He might get a finish, but if he doesn't get a finish this round, I think it's going to play out like I thought it was going to play out, that he's going to get a bit of a licking for the next 2 rounds if it goes that far.
Yeah, and he looked drained as hell in the corner, didn't he? Taking massive breaths and all that.
The fact that he did get him down, though, did make me think, well, he could do a bit of a he stand Rettinghouse on him, just kind of scramble on top of him enough to, maybe squeak out a points win. But, at the end of UFC fights, they give the live betting odds at the end of each round. Yeah. And, it shows how the fight's sort of going. after that first round, I would have thought that Battles would have been quite a big favourite, despite the fact that, like you say, there could be a strong claim that he lost that round on the judges' scorecards. I think it kind of went well for him, as in it was quite a physically draining round, quite a lot of grappling.
He defended a rear naked choke for like over 2 minutes. That shows a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought, yeah, and he didn't look mentally drained from it. Battles, as he didn't look like, maybe I can't win this fight. He looked fine. I think he's got a good attitude anyway. It seems that Battles when it comes to fighting. So I thought if I was his corner man, I would have been delighted with that first round.
Yeah, even if he lost it on the scorecards. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'd have been like, you've invested a lot in that first round, and it's going to reap dividends in rounds 2 and 3.
Yeah,
and that's what happened, because it didn't take long into round 2 before he got his hand raised. So,
well, he came out all aggressive, Battles at the start of it, like you say, knowing exactly what was going on. He threw a lot of punches and a lot of kicks, non-stop, which was a good idea considering how tired Petroski looked, and that he may or may not have lost the first round. Battles. He came out aggressive with it. I didn't know he had it left in him, but Petroski in the second round did charge in for a takedown, and he did get it, but it weren't for very long. Because Battles got up, turned around, started a choke while still standing up. Petroski tried to spin out of it, but ended up on the bottom with the choke still on, and he had to tap out. So it's a Bryan Battles win. The last pick beats the number 1 seed.
Wasn't the last pick, was he? Kemran.
He said he was the last pick.
No, he was the last pick on that team, but I think Kemran was the last pick overall. Remember, because Kemran went to go and get his vest, and Dana White said, no, wait.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. Yeah, okay, but the last pick
Kemran
for that
was
team.
The last pick over.
Yeah,
last pick over. He was the last pick.
Well, that's understandable. Kemran's the last pick, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm surprised Kemran didn't just walk forward and headbutt the vest.
Yeah, he should have, yeah. Good win that. As a lot of people were saying afterwards, Dana and the coaches having a chat and saying that Petroski was tipped to win the whole thing. And Volkanovski said, I told you, Dana. I told you this was a man. Don't you sleep on this guy. So it was good. I like Petroski after the fight, though, where he actually said that he has to be able to do his wrestling thing for 15 minutes, which means he knew he was fatigued, knew he was mashed in there. Said, I did good. They were trying to G him up. Say, you did good. He said, I did, but I need to be able to do that for 15 minutes. Good self-reflection, that, wasn't it? Good. Good from him. I'm sure that we said when we first saw him fight that the jury was still out on him because he's so muscle-bound. I'm sure we said that. Like, he done good, but let's wait and see. We ain't seen enough of him yet because he's very muscular and, can he do this stuff? So, good chats between Battles and Dana again, because I like the Dana White bits, don't I? I think whenever he's in it, he's absolutely brilliant. So, it was just more brilliant chats from Dana. And Battles was also good. He asked for a submission bonus, and it was good because it weren't just, oh, come on, give me the money, give me a submission bonus, please. He said, give me the bonus. It'll help me be able to train full-time and get better. If you think I'm good now, give me the money. It'll help me be able to do it full-time. I liked that. It was good. So good little scene again.
I think it shows, like I said before about Battles, I think he's got a really good mindset, it seems, for fighting. He seems coachable. He seems like a guy who isn't ever gonna quit. A lot of them say all this, you'll have to, I'll never quit in there, I'll never give up. But you see it regular where people get broken, understandably, right? It's a difficult sport. But people like Battles, I do think he looks like a guy who really does, will be one of the last guys to break. I think he is, like you said, in the round 2, he didn't just go out there and just fight like he did in round 1. He responded to what happened in round 1. He knew that Petroski would be fatigued, and he thought, now's the time for me to put my foot down on the accelerator.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He made that choke happen by, if you like, Petroski being a bit desperate and leaving his neck out there. That happened because he kept his foot on the accelerator. So I think Battles I think he's actually, technically, he's all right. I mean, we mocked him for the way he held his hands on the poster or the introduction, but he was good in that first fight. Just kept on throwing punches. And I think he looks like I actually think he'll be one of those guys that will probably have a really good long UFC career. I think he will definitely get signed up after this, win or lose in that final.
So that's the end of that episode. That's the end of that fight. Good win there for Battles. The preview of the next episode shows a clip of the coach's challenge, which we've been waiting for and looking forward to. There have been some good ones in the past, but this one showed beanbags. What do you think about this?
was the
Obviously, reserving judgment, full judgment, because we've not actually seen it. But from the clip you've seen, they're supposed to get you excited to watch it. What do you think about the idea?
Gee whiz. We're running on a bit of a tight budget here. I'm surprised they didn't get them trying to throw beanbags into the middle of a Toyo Tire. It's just stupid. It was the kind of crap that they used to set up for my sports day back in primary school. Throwing beanbags into a hoop or something, then going and running after them, getting them back, and then throwing them into the next hoop. Not very good for a $1 billion organisation.
Yeah.
Just a bit budget, a bit basic, throwing some sacks into a hole. I mean, honestly, just look, it's the competition between the two guys, the ribbing and all that makes those coaches' challenges more enjoyable. So it doesn't have to be fighting with lions or anything particularly exciting to be good. Look, air hockey, Bisping, that was good, right? The air hockey, and it's just air hockey. You get your local amusement arcade. But honestly, throwing a couple of sacks into a hole, whatever, innit?
Yeah. Well, look, we reserve full judgment, but we're just making a decision based on the clip that we've been shown. The next episode will be the fight between Vincent Murdoch and Brady Heastand. And that is all I have to say on this tremendous review of The Ultimate Fighter Season 29, Episode 10. If you've got anything to add, now is the time.
Nothing to add.
The silence says it all. Now, I'm just going to quickly mention that there probably won't be any content in this one because we're behind. We're running behind. So anyone that's been enjoying the new content that we've added into these chats, it just takes too long. It takes a long time. And now we're behind. So going to have to leave it be for a bit, I think. And maybe we'll add it in later. By all means, put saying in the comments saying you've enjoyed it.
Sounds to me like you're desperate for some credit there, desperate for some attention. Just listen, if you've got to beg for it, then it's probably not been that successful. You've got to beg for compliments. Probably best off just accepting that everyone thought it was shit.
Come on. Come on.
I liked it, but, you know, but Bailey.
We don't know. Kieran
Bailey,
someone let us know.
You know
was it worth doing? Was it any good having this extra content in there? Just let us know.
They have let you know by not leaving a comment.
Well, I agree with that. It does seem to be the way. But
they've done the same as, when someone shows you a picture of their girlfriend, they just diverted off the topic immediately.
Yeah. Well,
simple as that.
Listen, you're going to get your wish because it's not going to be in this episode or the next one or the one after that because we need to catch up. So, all right, that's fine. That's fine. We won't do it then. We won't bother. How about that? All right. Just have chats.
Oh,
that's it. All right. Well, thanks very much as usual, and I'll see you for the next one.
See you later.
All right.